Liftoff will start in T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
It's time! 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. Michael got a piece of it. It comes off. The Chicago Bulls have won their 6th NBA championship.
Tying run at second, 2 out. Palmero over the head of Jenks. Uribe charges, throws, out! And the White Sox have won the World Series.
To the far side around the 8-yard line to Hester. Under it and to the middle with the 15 to the 20. Breaks 3 to the 25 to the 30 to the outside. 40 midfield. 40 30 to the coast. 20 15 Hester 5. Oh! Touchdown!
Toward Bryant. He will glove it for Rizzo. It's in time. And the Chicago Cubs win the World Series.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to Shawn and Maya in the morning on this Hump Day edition. I'm your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra. Thanks for tuning in. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, well, then I guess you found us on Facebook. If you're not following us on Facebook, what? Come on, baby. Go to Facebook, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the like button, and now you're following Sports Zone Chicago. Simple. But wait, there's more. Go to the show's page. Go to Shawn and Maya in the morning like that as well. So not only will you be following Sports Zone Chicago, but you'll be following Shawn and Maya in the morning as well. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, excellent. And if you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel, for real, come on, baby. Let's go. Go to YouTube, type in Sports Zone Chicago, click the subscribe button, but also click the notification button. That's a little bell that's next to it. And that'll let you know anytime a show from Sports Zone Chicago is going live. Get it? Got it? Good. Now, if you're watching this on our mobile app, yay. Please don't tell me you didn't know we had a mobile. Come on, baby. We have Keep Up with the Joneses. All right, so here's what you do. Wherever you get your app from, you go there. And it doesn't matter where you get your apps from, but you go there. All right? Type in Sports Zone Chicago. You download it. You take us with you on the go. So not only do you get Shawn and Maya in the morning 3 days a week, not only do you get our other live shows throughout the week, and not only are they archived there like they are on Facebook and YouTube, but I'll tell you what, we give you a slew, and I mean a slew of articles thanks to my man Clarence Council III. Big up to Clarence for keeping you abreast of all articles Chicago sports related. Now, if you're watching us on our Roku channel, I like that kind of party, baby. And if you don't know, you better ask somebody. Sports Zone Chicago, we have our own Roku channel. So if you have a Roku television in the house, do us a favor. Download Sports Zone Chicago's channel right to your television, right to the big screen. Put it there next to the big boys, Netflix, Hulu, Prime, HBO Max, Apple, Disney Plus, Paramount Plus, Stars. Man, when are we getting back? Power. I miss Power. But I digress. Put us there on the big screen. Hell, we're on the big screen, right, Mickey, Vicky, now. Now, you can also tweet the show. You can tweet us at Sports Zone Shy. That's CHI at Sports Zone Shy. Now, if you want to follow me, just me personally online. You want to know what I did? Let me tell you what I did. I made it nice and easy for you folks. Nice and easy. One handle for Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. All one handle at the Shawn Sierra. Listen, we got a great show, but I need you to get interactive. So whatever platform you're watching this on, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or our mobile app, leave a question or comment on that platform. It'll come up here in the thread. We'll put it up on the screen. We'll incorporate it into the show. And that, my peoples, is what makes this the best morning Chicago sports talk show around. And that's you. So bring them all, baby. Questions, comments, smart-ass remarks, because ain't nobody scared over here. And like The Rock said, baby, don't sing it. Just bring it. Let's check the chat. Because, man, oh, man. We're jumping in here already. Let's see who we got here. My man, Armando Emeterio Lara Jr. My man, Junior's in the house. What's up, Papa? How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Michelle, he says, good morning. Michelle Walls. Happy Hump Day, sports owners. Man, we did 80 burpees yesterday, Michelle. 80 burpees. 15 burpees, 5 sets. 6 sets, excuse me. 6 sets, 15 burpees over the rower, And then we had a roll to the max. It was crazy. I thought of you. Rashawn Walls, he's talking. He's saying, "What's up to Armando?" Mr. Shorty's in the house. What's up, Papa? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Levette Lee, she's checking in. Good morning. Happy Hump Day, y'all. She says, like I said, Mr. Man Shorty is in the house. I like it a lot. Brandon Schutz in the house. Good morning, buddy. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. Oh, my man Cornelius Squall's checking in. What up, what up, what up, sports zoners? Listen, I don't know a lot about a lot, but I do know this. More of the usual suspects will chime in as the show goes on. That, my peoples, I can promise you. Okay? We got a great show, man, at 10 o'clock. Yeah, Michelle Walsh says 80 burpees is a ton. Yeah, no shit. Thank you, Captain Obvious. When I saw the workout yesterday, I got to the gym, I was like, damn it, Michonne. Like you put the workout together or something, right? Oh, Brandon, what up, Papa? He says, I have some good news. What do you got? What good news you got for us? Be nice. What do you got for us? Let us know. Let us know. Put it in chat what you got for us. Listen, while he's typing that in. 10 o'clock, Beth Mishler-Elmore she covers the Bears for Heavy.com and BearReport.com. She's joining the show at 10 o'clock. Talk all things Bears. Man, we've been trying to get her on. Our schedule just couldn't vibe. And finally, we were able to get it out and get her on. She had some free time. Oh, no, and she was like, man, there's so much I gotta say, talk about, so many opinions. So, man, Beth Mishler-Elmore covers the for Heavy.com and BearReport.com is going to join us at 10 o'clock. Whoo, she's got a lot to say, and I got a lot to ask her. So I'm looking forward to it. So make sure you keep it dialed in. All right, 10 o'clock, Beth Mishler-Elmore. Brandon, what's up? You said they changed our part to Deacon Park. I'm not sure what you're saying, buddy. I'm not sure what you're saying. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying, Papa. Let's see. Plankster checking in quick. He says, good morning, Shawn, sports owners. I'm training today. I have to catch this later. Brother Cornelius, Armando Lara Jr., Levette Lee, Mr. Shorty, Michelle Walls, Brandon Schutz, bear down. Bear down, Plankster. Hey, I appreciate you checking in before you got to go do that actual thing called work. I hear you. Junior says, got to have Adam Shalafu on again. I do need to reach out to Adam because this Bulls team is looking pretty nice. I'm liking it. I'm liking what I'm seeing. But man, we have this is a good cup of tea. Not a great one. This is a good one. And we got to have there's the stuff I put in my tea is amazing. Amazing. Whew. Let's see. Branch said they changed our part to Dink Park. Our part to Dink Park. I'm not sure what that means. But anyway, kind of threw me off for a second there. Goodness, I was just gonna say I lost my train of thought there. Well, we have a lot to talk. About. We got the Hawks. They played last night. We got the Bulls. They play tonight. Across the cheese curtain. Beyond the cheese curtain, they play. We got Bears to talk. We got college football to talk. We have a lot to get in today. And you know what? I am so excited to do it with you guys today. There's so much to say, so much so many things to dive into, so many different perspectives on there. Seriously, Junior says, I'm drinking hot water. He said, seriously, just hot water. Didn't feel like coffee or tea. Okay. Okay. All right. I don't know if I could do that, but man, this tea's good. Mix it with honey. Oh, I know what I was going to say. We got to have a show where we just talk about like other stuff. We talk sports all the time, but like stuff I put in my tea, all the health benefits I put soursop, I put moringa, I put shilajit in there. Man. Yeah, this. Let me give you the plug. Go get some shilajit. 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 For all the men in here, go get you some shilajit. Your significant other will thank you. Ashwagandha is another one. Ashwagandha and shilajit are amazing. Yes. And they're both in here. Every morning you see me drinking it, they're in here. Great stuff. We definitely need to talk about some health stuff at one point. You know, maybe we'll do a pop-up or something like Beyond the Zone, something like that. We'll just talk a little health. All right. But anyway, guys, let's get right to it, baby. You know how we do. The first segment of every show is called Top of the Morning.
It won't come just when you want it. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Top of the morning to you.
Yeah, baby. All right, here we go. Let me see. First top of the morning topic. Which way do we go? I know where we're going. The Blackhawks. Yeah, that was a tough one. The Blackhawks fall to the Anaheim Ducks and Emilio Estevez 3-2. If you got that joke, you're old as dirt. Oh, they fell 3-2. Soderblom, he stopped 21 of 24 shots. Dickinson scored both of the Blackhawk goals, his third and fourth of the season. Connor Bedard. Who the hell? You know why I said Andrew Bedard? Because I'm reading it, his A colon, but it looks like A period Bedard for the assists. In the assists, Connor Bedard had 2 assists, bringing his season total to 12. Brody had a helper, his third of the season, and Teuvo Teravainen, his 5th helper of the season. I told you this Hawks team is going to be exciting, not necessarily good, but exciting. Staying with the Blackhawks, the next top of the morning topic is the Blackhawks. They host the Panthers tomorrow night, mañana, at the United Center. Puck drop is at 7:30 Central. You can catch that game on ESPN Plus or Hulu, not on the Chicago Sports Network, or listen to it on their flagship station, 7:20 a.m. The next top of the morning topic, the Bulls. Only the Bulls. Only the Bulls. The Bulls travel up I-94 to Brewtown, beyond the cheese curtain, to face the Bucks. Tip-off today is at 6:30 Central Time. You can catch that game on ESPN or listen to it on their flagship station, 670 a.m. Big game for the Bullies. Coming off a win. They beat them already up there. And you know what was interesting is I was thinking of going to the game today. And I was like, yeah, but I got stuff to do. What do you got to do today? I did 2 things. I'm in the middle of this one. I have something to do at 2:30. So I got a lot to do today. And I was like, man, 2:30 and the game starts at 6:30. That means I got to leave here like 4 to get up to like 5:30. I'll catch them again. I'll catch them when they go up there. They don't play Milwaukee in Milwaukee again. They don't play Milwaukee in Milwaukee again. That sucks. I was going to go maybe just spend the night up there, get a hotel room, call it a night. You know what I mean? I haven't seen the Bulls on the road. Although I might see them in Golden State when I head to San Fran for the Bears game. But that's neither here nor there. But I'd love to see them in an opposing town as the visitors. I'd have my Bulls gear on. I'd have this hat on or another. I have an all black with just the Bulls logo. Fitted baseball hat on. I'd wear one of my shooting jerseys. All right. And I'd represent. I'll be representing. But yeah, it would be a pretty cool game to go up to and see. Middle of the week. I just think it'd be a good thing. And I was looking forward to going to see them, as I said. Tonight, maybe I do it tonight, but then I said, no, I'll check them later. They'll be better later this year, and they don't play them again in Milwaukee. They play them here a couple times, but not in Milwaukee. I'm like, damn, that really sucks. I should have planned that better. Yeah. Shorty says, so that's better than my Monster Energy drink, my Sheila G. Yeah. I have green tea. I put sour sop in there, moringa. This is all powdered form. Sour sop, powdered form, moringa, powdered form, ashwagandha, powder. And Sheila G is kind of like a jellyish type thing. A couple different ways you could take Sheila G. But yeah, that's all this. And man, whoo, Charlie. Yes. Shorty says the Monster Energy drink is green. That's dope. That's funny. You got jokes, huh? You got jokes. The next top of the morning topic, the college football playoff rankings were released again yesterday. The latest rankings were released yesterday, and no change in the top 5. Oregon number 1, Ohio State number 2, Texas Tech number 3. Texas. Why did I put Texas Tech? Who the hell put Texas Tech? Texas number 3. Penn State number 4. Indiana number 5. Now, we have a lot to talk. I'm going to talk a little bit probably after the commercial break. I got a little bit to say about this college football because it's interesting, especially because of recency bias, because of what happened last year. Because of what happened last year, there's a lot of strategic maneuvering that needs to go on. Strategic maneuvering. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But man, I can't wait to talk some college football because, man, college football is fun. The next top of the morning topic, the Bears. Here we go, baby. The Bears host the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday. What is this? What is this? I can't even. There we go. I was in a hurry this morning. That is craziness. The Bears host the Minnesota Vikings this Sunday at Soldier Field. Kickoff is high noon Central Time. You can catch that game on Fox 32 or listen to it on their flagship station, ESPN 1000. Listen, I'm telling you, I'm fired up for this game. Sure, I'll be here all week. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, Junior said my friend's son drank 2 Monster drinks at 24 and had a heart attack. Oh my goodness gracious. Brandon Schutz says, I did hot tea with that little coffee maker. And was it good? Okay. Yeah, a lot of storylines with the Bears. A lot. Is Coach Eberflus dead man walking? Is that what it is? Is there a chance to turn it around? Do you want to see it turn around? Let me ask you a question. Do you want to see this turn around? Because if they turn this around and the Bears somehow get to 9-10 wins, might not even help them make the playoffs. That's a legit possibility. But let's say they make the playoffs. If they make the playoffs, that means Caleb Williams is having a really good year. If Caleb Williams is having a really good year, that means Thomas Brown is having a great year as a coach. Do you want to get rid of him and the progress that he's had? All right. Do you want to get rid of Flus and then Thomas Brown's going on? Unless you promote Thomas Brown as head coach or you promote, but do they want to stay? Like, that would be weird. That would be weird to fire the head coach, but elevate the defensive coordinator, fire the head coach in the offseason, then hire Eric Washington as the head coach. Or I don't know if you want to put Thomas Brown in the head coaching seat, or if you wanted to put Eric Washington, because neither of them have been head coaches. I want a head coach who's done this before. And what happens is they're going to want to bring in their own guys. I mean, you can suggest, you can suggest that they retain an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator like they did with Vic Fangio. But if you want to get a head coach, an established, a veteran, a good head coach, he'd be like, I'm bringing in my own people. No disrespect to Thomas Brown, no disrespect to Eric Washington. I'm bringing in my own people that I know and that I trust. So I don't know. Because there is a scenario, there is a world where Thomas Brown, the Bears literally pick up where they left off last week. They bring in Minnesota. All right, they get to Sam Darnold. We're going to talk about Montez Sweat and where he's on the back of a milk carton. You get to Minnesota. They come here. We handle them. We get a pass rush. We run the ball. Complementary football is what the term he likes to use. There's a chance for us to win. Like, I'm not scared of anybody. There's no team on the rest of the schedule. I'm like, oh yeah, man, we can't beat any of this. We can beat everybody on this team and the rest of the schedule. Everybody. Will they do it though? That's the question. Only time that happens when Dick goes hired, he inherited Buddy Ryan. Well, remember, that happened with Vic Fangio too. Remember when what's his name? Nagy. When Nagy was here. I think when Nagy got hired, they kept Fangio for a year. So, but anyway. Yeah, it's going to be a good game. I'm really looking forward to that game on Sunday. I'll be in the house. I'll be in the house, and I'm telling you, I am so. And call it just my bias, and that's, you can say that. But here's the thing: because I watch this team so closely, I see the talent. That's the problem. And I see it in spurts. Like, oh, wow, great play. Oh, wow, great play. Oh, man, what are they doing? Oh, man, what are they doing? Oh, man, what are they doing? Oh, wow, great play. Like, the talent is there. Granted, we got some guys beat up. Andrew Billings, that's going to be a big, big hole to fill, literally and figuratively. On the Minnesota Vikings, I'm running Aaron Jones till the cows come home. Up the middle, inside zone. I'm running up the middle. Why Green Bay didn't do that, I have no idea. your best run stopper is out for the season, and you don't attack that? I don't know. I don't know if Kevin O'Connell is going to fall prey and say, let me be the smartest guy in the room and start throwing the ball all over the place. Nah. Remember I told you, if the Packers want to win, I mean, they won, luckily. Illegally, of course, they won. They're going to have to run the ball. And I told them to run it right where Andrew Billings should be, inside zone. They didn't do it. Like I said, here's where play callers, we talked about it so many times. So many play callers want to be the smartest guy in the room. Well, we're not going to do that. Well, you know it's their weakness. You know it's their weakness. Attack their weakness. And they didn't do it. Okay. Will Minnesota fall prey to this? If Minnesota doesn't attack that middle of our defense, this game will be close as well. This game will be close as well. And you can only flirt with and play around so much. You're gonna mess around and find out. You keep losing these games, the Bears are gonna win these close games. Bears are gonna win one. Bears are gonna win one. Yep. But anyway, listen, let's take a quick break. On the other side of the break, all right, we'll talk a little college football. All right, I want to talk about what's going on in, everyone's jockeying for position. All right, in this college football playoff. All right, so we got some college football coming up. Talk a little Bulls as they prepare for their game tonight across the cheddar curtain, cheese curtain. So don't go anywhere, folks. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Many will hear the calling. Few will earn the title. United States Marine. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
How do you take care of your mind health?
For my mental health, I meditate in the mornings.
I have my dogs. They're the best.
I just find ways that help me just relax.
Finding things that make me happy, like being close to my family.
I meditate a lot and read books.
I have hobbies outside of the game. I'm able to switch off. I'm able to turn my brain off from the game of basketball.
Your mind health matters.
Your mind health matters.
We are looking for a few heroes, mentors, trailblazers, innovators, a passion to change lives, spark curiosity, open hearts, and awaken minds, help students answer the question, who am I? This could be your calling, but this is no job. It's the journey of a lifetime. Be a hero. Be a teacher.
Mental health and learning disorders don't discriminate. 17 million children and adolescents in the United States live with disorders like anxiety, depression, ADHD, and dyslexia. Less than half get the help they need to thrive. Help the Child Mind Institute change these children's lives. Visit childmind.org.
Hey, welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. I know you were waiting for a clip. Yeah, my guy Steve. Hey, guys, give us well wishes to Steve. Steve was in the hospital. He had an infection. He should be okay. Yeah, he should be okay, but he's in the hospital. I'm gonna check. I'll call. I was in contact with him yesterday, and I'll see today if he's getting released today. But yeah, so Steve was a little under the weather. Shorty, what are you talking about here? You're like, give me some info. You're like, no shit, give me some info. What are you talking about here in this thing? And you're like, Steve-O wishing you well. Junior says, get well soon, Steve-O. Yeah. He'll be glad to. You guys send him your well wishes. You know, college football, there's a lot of strategic maneuvering going on. College football. Okay. And it's understandable. Okay. Look, here's what's going on. Indiana. All right, the top 5 haven't changed. All right, we talked about it. I mentioned that earlier. The top The top 5 teams in the BCS playoffs haven't changed. Okay. It's Oregon. It's Ohio State. Hold on. Who is it? Yeah, let me pull it up. Oregon, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, and Indiana. Yes, Indiana. These ain't your mom. These ain't your daddy's Indiana Hoosiers. These ain't your daddy's Hoosiers. These are the real deal. But here's the thing. What's going to happen? What is she doing? Big game. Ohio State is playing Indiana. Huge. Playing at the Horseshoe. So in Columbus. Okay. Ohio State's 9-1. Indiana's 10-0. Okay. That is going to be one hell of a game. And let me tell you, I'm looking forward to it because Indiana hasn't been here. It's been a long time, if ever, that I can remember that Indiana has been here. That's actually the first time they're 10-0. Okay. So and then you're going to Columbus. That's a lot. Okay, that's a lot. And the thing that you have to wonder, is this moment going to be too big for them? Is this moment going to be too big for them? And so here's the question I ask. If Indiana beats Ohio State, and there's a way you can do it, there's a possibility. I'm not putting it past anybody. Do they leapfrog Penn State? Do they leapfrog Penn State? Do they leapfrog Texas? If they win. If they do, and they make it to the Big Ten championship game, because right now, Oregon is one participant. And we'll see if, maybe we'll go down to that. Oregon is one of the combatants in the Big Ten championship game. And if Indiana beats Ohio State, they may be the second. But here's the question. Here's where the strategy comes in. Do you want to win? Do you want to be in the Big Ten championship game? Because what if you go up against Ohio State and lose? Or Oregon, excuse me. If you go to Oregon and lose, how far does Indiana fall back? Because don't forget, you have the automatic bids that are going to be in there. You have all the conference automatic bids, and then you don't forget, you still got Ohio State, you still got Texas, got Penn State. How far does Indiana fall? And I think they should be in it. I think that, first of all, they should be in it. You're silly, Junior. Oregon Nike Ducks. Yes, Philip Knight, founder of Nike, is an Oregon grad. I think they should be. They think they will make it regardless. Even if they lose. So if they lose to Ohio State, they're out of it. They're out of the Big Ten championship game. It'll be Ohio State and Oregon. Okay. I think Indiana's body of work will allow them to be in the college football playoffs, the expanded college football playoffs. I think what they've done this year is crazy. I didn't know there's so many people so many Indiana University alumni before this year. Before this year. And so is that what's going to happen? And they talked about Joey Galloway played at Ohio State, wide receiver, was on the 4-letter network. And he has a theory saying that Indiana should sit their quarterback. Because he thinks if Indiana lose, because they'll lose to Ohio State and then they'll lose, then they should get into the college football playoffs. Because if you beat Ohio State and then you lose to Oregon, how far are you falling? How far are you falling? With all of the automatic bids that get into in the college football playoffs. I thought that was silly, but I see the logic. Indiana says, "Hey, if we lose one game, then guess what? We're not going to fall out of the top 12. We're not going to fall out of the top 10. So Indiana should be in there. But if they lose if you always further along in the year, losses that happen later on in the season seem to have a little more weight. Now, mind you, it's against the number one team in the country. It's in the Big Ten championship game, so they might not fall as far as, if they fell like last week or 2 weeks ago. What Indiana's doing is awesome. What they're doing is awesome, and I love it. All right? The NIL has really leveled the playing field. NIL has really leveled the playing field. And it's gotten to the point where's this? Here we go. It's gotten to the point. This is how bad the NIL is. Look at this. Peep this. Bryce Underwood is an LSU commit. Okay. Top 25 recruit. Has committed to LSU, as you see him here. And Michigan is reportedly prepared to offer him $10.5 million over 4 years if he goes to Michigan. $10.5 million. This is what the NIL can do. So you have some rich alumni who can donate and be happy to pay NIL fees for this guy. Have a consortium or so that kind of handles it. This young kid is being offered $10.5 million for 4 years. So you figure 2.5 for, let me see, 2.6 a year. $2.6 million a year. This kid is turning down. That's what the NIL does. And what that's going to do is you're going to see a lot more teams from the Big Ten, maybe in the Southeast, and from the Big Southeast Conference, and from the other conferences that have automatic bids. Some of their second-tier teams may ante up a year and recruit and bring a hell of a lot more talented players for one and done. You remember Russell Wilson went to Wisconsin after North Carolina State. No NIL deal, but look what difference he made at Wisconsin. But if you can get someone to go to like a WAC, all right, or a Big 12 school, one of the second tier schools, because you give them money, you give a couple kids money, a couple of the right kids money. This is what the NIL has done. It's leveled the playing field. It has really leveled the playing field. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. People don't like it. People don't like it because the kids are hopping in the transfer portal. They're not going, and they're saying, oh, well, when things get bad, it teaches you your character. You see things through. Listen. Get off your goddamn soapbox. Because you know what? Tell that to the coaches who leave those kids after 2 years. You sit in their mama's house and say, hey, I'm going to take care of your kid. He comes after 2 years, he's gone. Or maybe after 1 year, he's gone. Because he got a better opportunity, more money. And the people who are putting their bodies on the line aren't getting the money. That was the biggest knock before NIL. So now the kids can go get more money. They're going to get more money. I don't like it, but it's the way of the world. Okay? All this nonsense, and I don't like it because I'm just old, and it wasn't around when I was around. Hell, we couldn't even go to the 1AA playoffs when I was at Holy Cross because of a stupid league rule, a Patriot League rule. We couldn't go to the 1AA playoffs. They let the men's basketball team play in the NCAA tournament. I'm like, well, what's the difference? What's the difference? And we'd be playing over Christmas break. So we wouldn't even be missing school. You know what it was? They're probably just cheap asses, didn't want to have to fly us all over the country because we were good. I told you my college team was good. 10-1, 9-1-1, 11-0. Those are my first 3 years with Coach Duffner before we got a new coach. We would have put up some number. We would have made some noise in that 1AA playoffs. But I digress. I'm happy with these youngsters. I'm happy for them. The only thing is I just hope that they have a good support system around them. All right, because you get people, a lot of these kids are coming from impoverished backgrounds, and a couple of things. One, their family wants to exploit them. Okay. Two, they they cause their own demise. They feel like they gotta help everybody and give back to everybody financially who vested in them. And I get it, I understand it, but it's not the way it works. You don't need to pay. You don't need to pay this guy, that guy, a guy who walked through the school. You don't need to pay him $100,000. You don't need to pay. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of things that people are going to come with their hands out. They need to understand and learn how to say no, and it's very difficult. Very difficult. And I'm sure now colleges are, because of this, colleges have to have a symposium like the NFL does. The NFL has a symposium, all the leagues, NFL, NBA. I'm not sure about baseball, but I know NFL, NBA have symposiums for the rookie symposiums, where they come in, they bring people in, they tell you about saving money. They tell you about laying off these hood rats. They tell you about laying off these gold digging girls, right? Who are trying to get knocked up by you just so they have a paycheck for the next 18 years. Unfortunately, guys don't listen. I was reading the other day, I can't remember who, is it Zach or Zion's girlfriend? Zion Williamson's girlfriend? Or another one of the younger players' girlfriends? It's her third baby or fourth baby by an NBA player. I'm like, what? I know it's at least her third. But you should know who this chick is, and you're gonna do a Raw with no condom? You notice what she's about? It boggles my mind. And maybe it's because I'm at the age where I'm at, but man, I had a tough time if I knew a friend of mine dated her and was with her. I had a tough time with that. And to know she got 2 or 3 kids by other dudes, just join the squad. Just join the squad. So hopefully they have things in place for these youngsters, because, man, these girls are coming out a lot more informed, all right, a lot more conniving. Okay, and as we know, women mature faster than men anyway. So we're I'm going to get some girl. I'm going to get some. Especially when you're young like that, you want the attention, you want the women, you got the money, you want the women, you want the attention, you want the power, you want all the spotlight. What better way to have a spotlight than hottest chicks around, hottest girls around? You want the hot girls around. It happens. This is where people got to come in. Family members, the university. But anyway, I digress. Our bullies tonight. I mentioned they're going up against beyond the cheese curtain. All right, the Bulls travel to Milwaukee to play the Bucks. They beat them once already. And like I said, it's a game that I would love to be able to go to. And I guess I could still go, but man. For those of you who don't know, I live in Orland. All right. That's southwest suburb of Chicago. Because it takes about an hour to get there from Chicago. It'll take me another half hour, 45 minutes, almost 2 hours, depending. And the game starts at 6:30. So I'd have to rush. I have to deal with rush hour traffic going on 294 to get up there. Yeah, I don't. That ain't gonna happen, Captain. It's not gonna happen, Captain. But it is gonna be a good game. I'm excited to see. Milwaukee's gotten better, and I think Dame and the Greek Freak are coexisting much better this year. I think they are, and I think they're learning how to play off of each other better. But with this Bulls team, because they're so young, there's a lot of young guys on there. I know they're veterans. Some are young guys are veterans, but they're still young. And I'll tell you what's been working. We've been moving the ball up and down the court. We've been hitting the 3-ball. What the hell is going on with Vooch? Vooch has gotten He must be drinking out of that fountain of youth, because Nikola Vucevic is really playing some great basketball to start the season. I gotta have Fred Pfeiffer back. All right, we gotta have Fred back and talk. He'll give you all the numbers. But my God, I love the way Vooch has been playing, hitting these threes at a consistent clip, rebounding. Hell, dude's playing defense. The last time you saw Vooch play defense, Zach LaVine, I'm telling you, do we really want to get rid of him? I am liking the way he's playing. I love the way he's playing both ends of the court. I mean, he was on a heat check the other day in Detroit. Oh, my goodness. 6 threes in the fourth quarter. 6 out of 7, I want to say. He took a heat check from like 30. I think that was the only three-pointer he missed in that quarter. From 30. And it was short. Everything else, step back 3, gotcha. Caught it in rhythm, 3, gotcha. Corner 3, gotcha. This Bulls team, I like the way that they're playing under Billy Donovan's system. They're free. They're up and running. Dalen Terry's making plays. We knew defense was there, but he's making some plays on the offensive end as well. Kobe White is loving this. I love it. We just need a bigger guy, a more athletic big. But I'll tell you what, Vooch is still doing work. Vooch is still doing work. This is the best I've seen Vooch play since Orlando. Since he's got here. This is the best I've seen Vooch play. And you know my stance, start the offense through Vooch. Get it to him down low. Have some cutters. Dive to the hole. Get the ball out of his hands. Go set some picks. Get out beyond the arc. I mean, if you got a mouse in the house on a switch and you got a small guy on him, feed him. If he sets the screen and pops out, no one covers him, hit him for the tray. And Vooch has been doing that the best that I've seen him here in Chicago. The best. We're going to find out if they can handle the Bucks. What's the fear of the deer? Is that what they say? Fear of the deer? Okay. Fear of the deer. I'm scared of the deer. I don't want to mess it on my car. But all I'm scared about with those guys. But anyway, I digress. Listen, we're gonna take another break. And on the other side of the break, we're gonna talk some more Bears. We're gonna switch gears and talk Bears football with Beth Mishler-Elmore. She's double duty Beth. She covers the Bears for BearReport.com and Heavy.com. So we're gonna talk some Bears football. And I'm fired up because we have a lot to talk about. A lot has happened since the last time we spoke. And people are gone and players cut. Coordinators cut. Wow. A lot to talk. So don't go anywhere, folks. Beth Mishler-Elmore on the other side of the break. Keep it locked right here. Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago.
Hey, it's your boy, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, and be sure to follow Sports Zone Chicago on all social media platforms, on Facebook, Instagram, and our Roku channel. You can find us at Sports Zone Chicago, and on Twitter, we are at Sports Zone Shy. Also, be sure to download our mobile app so you can take Sports Zone Chicago with you on the go.
Time out. How are you feeling right now? Happy? Excited? Angry? Overwhelmed? One of the best things you can do for your mind health is to name what you're feeling. It can sharpen your awareness and help you talk about your feelings with someone you trust. Here are 3 questions to ask yourself. Where are your thoughts right now? In the past, the present, the future? Do you notice any sensations in your body? Is your heart beating fast? Is there a flutter in your stomach? Or are you fully relaxed? What do you need right now? Time with others? Time to yourself? Remember, there's power in this awareness. So find ways to identify what you're feeling today.
Hi, guys. Hey. Hi, Megan. Hey, Jessica. Megan, you're a tramp. Brian Fitch told me you guys made out. Everybody knows. He said your breath smells like garbage. And he almost puked. He says you're the most desperate girl he knows, besides your mom. How many boyfriends does she have anyway? Lots? Your makeup makes you look like a clown. That zit is huge, zit face. Ugly.
Hey, bud, what you doing?
I'm playing with cars.
Cars? Can you show me what a car does? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second. First of all, this is a school zone. So you need to put down your cell phone, stop texting, and let's get to driving. Now you're coming up to a stop sign, right? You need to slow down and stop before you hit that Y line. I want you to look left, right, left. You don't want to get hit by a car going on your left and to your right to make sure you don't get sideswiped by a guy coming from your right. You're coming, and you see a crosswalk. You better slow your horses down because the #1 rule of driving is always yield to pedestrians. Now stop, pull over, and you are done driving. Gosh, what do they teach you kids in school nowadays?
Welcome back to Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. My next guest, I am fired up to talk to her. It's been a minute. Our schedules just wouldn't sync up. She's busy. I'm busy. It happens. Life. Damn you, life. Life gets in the way. Damn it. But I'm excited to have her because I love her perspective. She covers the Bears for Heavy.com and BearReport.com. You've seen her. She's a good friend of the program. You can find her on Twitter at one of the best handles I know. Bear Down Beth. Guys, just welcome back to Shawn and Maya. Beth Mishler-Elmore. Beth, good morning.
Hey, Shawn, how's it going? Good to see you
Going
again.
well. Yes. Finally. Beth has come back.
Exactly. Good to be here.
Oh, my goodness. Where do we start? It just, you know what? Let me just pick one. Boom. Let's pick this one right there. So many things going on with this team, you know, from the Hail Mary to the block punt to the tush push to help block the block field goal to the tush push to help block the field goal to the coordinator getting fired. Let's start with we'll stick with the recency bias. We'll stick with Green Bay.
Okay.
Your thoughts on the last drive. All right. Are you one of the people who thinks that Eberflus should have gone for another play to get closer for Carlos Santos?
Yeah, I don't think it would have hurt, right? I mean, it could have, I suppose, but if you look at the odds, right? Like, I mean, I think it's like 0.0% of chance of fumbling on that play. And Caleb, I think you got to sometimes just trust your players. Caleb was feeling it at that moment. He was like 3 for 3 for 59 yards on that drive. I don't think it would have been like a bad thing, but I'm not like. I don't think it would have ultimately made the difference either. I think Green Bay studied Cairo. They kind of saw something in his game, and I think they were ready for it. And I think that block might have happened either way, even if they did get a couple extra yards, because they seemed to kind of be ready for like the trajectory specifically of his kick.
What was really funny is I was in the press box before the game watching him warm up. And I made a note to myself, and that's why I got to start tweeting my thoughts. I got to make sure I filter which ones I tweet, but I got to start tweeting my thoughts a little more because I'm sitting there and I said the same thing. I'm like, that's a little low. Like he was driving it, you know, and not so much lifting it and having it carry. He was driving it. I'm like, that's kind of low. I hope it doesn't come back to bite us. And I didn't think anything of it until that happened. I'm like, wow. And I was sitting next to a guy from Fox 32, and I was like, dude, didn't I say that? He goes, yeah. He goes, you were mentioning it earlier. I was like, wow. But they saw that in film, and this is what they did. However, it does appear that they had to, you know, they should have been penalized. Now, granted, that and 225 will get me on a bus here in Chicago, okay? Because they're not changing the score. Think of how many Think how many gamblers won that game and how many gamblers lost that game. Try and get their money back. You know what I mean? Good luck. So it was frustrating. Talk to me if about that particular play when we saw that, and the Bears got flagged for it earlier in the year against Arizona for leverage. Why do you think that they didn't? That wasn't called. That was a pivotal play, obviously, with 3 seconds to go, going for the game-winning field goal.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the refs missing one there. They have to be more consistent. The long snapper got creamed, essentially.
Destroyed, yeah.
Plowed over, and that's just not supposed to happen. And I don't know if you heard Teddy Brucey's kind of assessment of it the next day. I forget what show that was on, but he was just pleading to the NFL officials to be more consistent with it. I think they just missed it. It's kind of a pivotal moment. It's the final play of the game. And you'd think that since there have been 2 other games this season where they called that play. They called the penalty, and this time, they didn't. And the Bears are probably going to get an apology from the league, and that's it. But yeah, I think they just missed it. I don't think the officiating has been that great lately. So it's not really a surprise.
Yeah, I don't either. I've been a big critic of the officiating. It seems kind of half-assed.
Yeah,
right. And it's not consistent across the board, and that's the thing that's frustrating. And it's frustrating because what's a pass interference call? What's a catch? Right? Because if you look at Christian Watson's catch when him and Jalen Johnson fell down, that looked like he used the ground to kind of control it. He caught it, but it looked like that might have helped him. And so we know the consistency is what really does it. And especially for a Bears team that needed a victory, that would have been a huge victory, a game-ending field goal over your arch rival who you had lost to previously 10 consecutive times. Talk about the good stuff, though, with Caleb and his ability. This is the second time this year he's led a game-winning drive that didn't end in a win.
Yeah, I mean, I can only imagine what folks would be saying about him had the game against the Commanders and this game against Green Bay ended in W's, man. I mean, the narrative about him, I think, would be a lot different nationally. But, I loved what I saw from him working with Thomas Brown. He got rid of the ball very quick. I think it was something like a little over 2.6 seconds, which is great. That's going to help him against the Vikings, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit. But he was incredible on third down, too. I think 9 for 16. He was great on fourth down as well. He's very smooth. That final drive, I mean, that's what you want to see from your quarterback. He gave the Bears an opportunity. He took them down the field, and he's done it multiple times as a rookie in this offense. And in this game, he was playing under a new OC for the first time. So I think all of those things combined, I was impressed how good he looked. Considering how he, all of the problems that have been going on at Hallis Hall, the firing of the OC, it's been a lot of drama, a lot of talk. His birthday was on Monday, so I would have liked to have seen him get a dub for his 23rd. Sorry, Caleb. But I loved what I saw from him. I liked how he used his legs. He was judicious about it. He didn't really think he played. And I hope to see more of that from him in the future, because I think Shane Waldron had him thinking too much.
Yes. Second offensive coordinator in 2 years that has their quarterback thinking. we heard that last year with Justin. What could be wrong? He's coaching, and people don't understand. They're saying, "Oh, get out of your head," but you don't understand. It's difficult when you're trying to fit in or get a system down, and someone says, "Well, try this, as opposed to letting them play. And I think the one thing about Caleb is he's best when he doesn't have to think. And I think most quarterbacks are like that. But the one thing that he was great at was the up-tempo thing. He looked really, really good. And the rhythm that I really liked was, if you watch the throws to Rome on the third and the fourth down, Keenan on the first down after he got the first down from 2 passes to Rome, his steps were 1, 2, 3, bounce, throw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, bounce, throw. It wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait, throw. He got back. He got it in rhythm. The throw to Keenan to Rome for the first down was amazing. It was 1, 2, 3, bounce. He put it on his back shoulder. That's what I had been calling for. I had been saying that the routes were not marrying with his drops. He's hitting the top of his drop, and the receivers aren't open. They're in the middle of their routes. That was a big issue with Shane. With that being said, DeAndre Swift having another phenomenal game. Could this offense turn around and start scoring points because they seem more comfortable. The play was getting called in quicker. He seems more comfortable, and I'm talking about Caleb, in that type of situation. Can his offense get turned around in the last 7 games?
It's not going to be easy, right? The schedule is the primary reason why. I don't think any of us anticipated that the Vikings would be this good. On defense, they're just out of this world good. And so we play the Packers again in Detroit 2 more times yet. So if they do turn it around, Thomas Brown deserves a job here next year in some capacity, because that will be a neat trick and something that, I think few of us would have seen coming, just largely because of the strength of the competition they face. I will say that, he got the skill players a lot more involved against the Packers, and that was great to watch. It was fun to watch. Everybody was eating. Everybody looked like, they were hitting their blocks for once. Things were looking good. So I'm thinking, I part of me is a little angry and wonders why it took them so long to do that. Clearly they were done with Waldron and just didn't want to play for him, which is frustrating because I want you to play every week. You're my Bears. But, I think if the skill players keep going, if Caleb, like you said, stays in rhythm and gets in rhythm during games and plays, I don't want him to worry so much about turnovers anymore. It's good that he is, but I want him to play a little bit freer. And like I said earlier, stop thinking so much. I think Eberflus got in his head a little bit about turning the ball over, and he's playing a little too cautious at times. And I think with Thomas Brown running things, I think it's gonna help kind of smooth the rough edges a little bit in his game. And I don't think they're gonna really. I think they're gonna look better, but I don't think they're gonna win a lot of games over the next several weeks. The next couple months. I think that they're gonna look good, but at the same time, they've got to score a lot more points. They still only scored 19 points, looking a lot, and they still looked a lot better than they've looked. So it's not going to be easy putting up 25, 30 points against the Lions, against the Vikings, against the Packers. But we'll see. I'd like to see it, but I just don't, I'd like to see more than anything, Caleb show steady improvement and everybody stay healthy over the next 2 months.
Guys, we're joined by Beth Mishler-Elmore. She covers the Bears for Heavy.com and BearReport.com. Talking Bears football here on Shawn and Maya in the morning on Sports Zone Chicago. So let me ask you a question then. If this offense does get turned around and we do start winning, is Eberflus safe? Because if you get rid of Eberflus, you're probably going to have to get rid of Thomas Brown, unless you're going to say, because who are you going to bring in? You can't bring in another offensive coach because he's going to want to call the plays. It's a slippery slope we go down if we get rid of Eberflus, which a lot of people are clamoring for, but there's also probably going to mean the exit of Thomas Brown as well. Your thoughts?
It could. I think you're right. I think that's the most likely scenario. I do think there's a slight chance that if he and Caleb just work really well together, he could stick on as OC and not call the plays. If say somebody like Cliff Kingsbury or some offensive-minded guy came on,
Kyle Shanahan,
just like yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm writing about that later today, Shawn. But yeah, if someone else like that came on and was like, listen, I'm going to be in control, but you're still the OC, I could see maybe that being the only scenario in which he'd stick around if Eberflus was gone. But yeah, like if it's hard because none of us, I don't think, want Flus around. His game management is awful. He's lost the team multiple games, multiple seasons, and they just don't play with a fire or discipline that you want him to see. And if it means losing Thomas Brown, sometimes you gotta sacrifice
collateral damage.
Yep, unfortunately, and that's just the way it goes in this league. Coaches there's cliques, man. They have friends. You got your buddies in there, and you want to bring your buddies in, and people that you work well with. That's how it usually goes, and sometimes it doesn't, but usually it does. So,
but the most important thing is this year. I know they wanted to win, all right, but isn't the most important thing Caleb's development?
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be reason to keep him around for another year? Because he's got 2 years left on his deal. Brad Biggs reported a couple weeks ago that he had a 5-year deal as opposed to a 4. All right, so that means in the Bears really don't like paying coaches that aren't working for them. They're on their sideline.
Yeah.
So do you think that could factor into this? Because All right, now you don't mind paying him one, having to pay him 1 year, not two, only one that he's not coaching. But you also get a second year of Thomas Brown and Caleb Williams. And if there's development, you would anticipate that the development that it would only get smoother and better for Caleb with Thomas Brown around.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the trick, right? If Caleb looks lights out and looks like he's shows steady improvement in every game and doesn't, really look like he's faltering, but instead is growing and blossoming with Thomas Brown, then I think it's absolutely worth having the conversation of keeping Flus around. At the same time, man, that's the things that the players have said this year, the things we've seen on the field, the challenges he calls, the challenges he doesn't call, the timeout usage. I mean, there's just an endless, you always go back to but with Eberflus. I just think it'd be best for them to cut the cord. But I'm fully aware that they probably won't. I'm fully ready for them to just be like, you know what, this we've seen improvement. We love Matt. He's our guy. Culture. Accountability this, accountability that, and he's coming back next year. That wouldn't surprise me in the slightest because this is the Bears. But what they should do is let him go, depending on how Caleb's bond with Brown goes, keep him around, and then hire somebody who just write him a blank check, an offensive genius if they could get one, because I'm tired of not being able to compete on the offensive side of the ball in an offensive-minded league.
I concur, and not to steal your thunder, I didn't mention a name that that he's having some issues over in San Fran, and Kyle Shanahan. So that could be, if they let him go, I think that would be the perfect time to let cut Eberflus go, give Kyle Shanahan a blank check, because Kyle Shanahan has worked with some really, really good quarterbacks, and has not just worked with, has developed some really good quarterbacks, and that's the most important thing, is his development. And if that happens, I don't know if the city will ever be as happy to have a head coach of that. They'll probably be the happiest I've ever seen them sign the city be when they sign a head coach, because he's offensive minded. He's not defensive minded. Yeah, I don't know. I just hope that happens. Let's go to the defensive side of the ball. How can they stop this Minnesota team? Right, Green Bay wanted to shoot them. They shot themselves in the foot. I often talk about how offensive coordinators want to be the smartest guy in the room, and they do dumb shit and stuff's right in front of their face. You have Andrew Billings out, so you don't run the ball. You don't run inside zone all day. Why they didn't do that, I had no idea. But they got Aaron Jones up there in Minnesota.
Yeah.
How do you think Minnesota is going to attack? Do you think they're going to try and exploit the absence of Andrew Billings?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think they're going to try to run all over the Bears all day. And the Packers, I mean, a lot of teams have had, been the Bears' Achilles heel on defense all year, is run defense. Their secondary's kind of been, it's been banged up, but you've still got, a decent secondary in there. Run defense is scary, man. You've got Dexter's kind of disappeared over the last few weeks. I'd like to see him reemerge and finish strong this season. He's such an important piece on that line. Montez Sweat's been kind of dealing with an ankle injury. That entire line is banged up right now, and I think absolutely Minnesota would be crazy not to attack it. The Vikings haven't scored over 23 points in their last 3 games, though, so they haven't exactly been lighting the world on fire offensively. They started out a lot hotter than they are, and Sam Darnold, as they say, has come down to earth a little bit, and he's still Sam Darnold. So I think there will be opportunities, just like with Jordan Love. I think Jordan Love's going to give folks opportunities every game. I think Sam Darnold is going to do that too. So I think if the secondary's ready, and if Eberflus can figure out when to blitz, they've got a chance to get some pressure on Darnold, make some plays, and force some turnovers, which will be key. If they can do that, they'll be in this game, regardless of how many yards they give up. They just need to keep them out of the end zone. You can give up all the yards in the world, but if you're good in the red zone, you can stay in the game.
You settle for field goals. You force them. You hold them field goals instead of touchdowns. Man, that's a whole nother ball game when you do that. And the Bears did a great job of it last week. The pick in the end zone, that was just a straight Jordan Love throw. It's like, if you're a Packer fan, I know they're paying because they were cursing at the TV, or they were acting crazy, like, you son of a, because it was just a bad throw. And so if we can get one of those out of Sam Darnold, because Sam Darnold will Sam Darnold.
He will.
That could help us out big time.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to you about the secondary. Are you worried about the secondary? Jaquan Brisker is one guy who's been out since October in the concussion protocol. His absence is felt definitely as the tone setter of this defense. Jalen Johnson had a big play given up on him. He was hurt a little bit. Are you worried about the secondary at all?
I'm not worried about Jalen. That was kind of a fluke play. He slipped. He knows it. He took responsibility for it. He's been excellent. I'm not too worried about him. Kyler Gordon's also been good. But like you said, we definitely miss Jaquan. He's a tone setter. He plays with grit. He plays like a bear. He's a hard hitter. He's got a feel for the ball, and you miss that in there. They've had decent safety play, but the player I'm most concerned about right now is Tyreek Stevenson, because he's shown like a noticeable decline from like the first 6 games over the last 5. And I'm not just really talking about like the mistake on the Hail Mary. That's kind of talked to death. We kind of all know about that. But he just seems to be not as present. He seems to be less physical, like he's getting beat a little more. I notice him run a little bit slower, it seems. I'm not sure if something's going on, but if like physically, but it just seems like something's off with his game. And so it's like, I'm not race car in the red about it yet. I'm not freaking out, but I'm like, I got my eye on Tyreek because he has not played as well as he did at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year. It seems like he's in a rut right now.
I'll keep an eye on it. I didn't notice, but I'll definitely keep an eye on him at the game on Sunday. Where do you think this team, now that we've settled, I think it seems like we've settled on the offensive coordinator for the rest of the season, how far do you think this team can go? Do you think they can get double digit wins?
If you asked me at the beginning of the season, I was far more optimistic like everyone else. I don't think so. I don't think they're going to go on the road at the end of the season and beat Green Bay. I don't think they're going to go on the road on Thanksgiving and beat Detroit. I don't think they're going to beat Detroit when Detroit comes to town. I think the Lions are going to sweep them this year because the Lions are just that good. And that's 3 games alone. Now, they have a chance to beat the 49ers because the 49ers are playing. They are kind of banged up a little bit. Bosa's a little hurt. He's been kind of off and on lately. He's dealing with an injury. So I think they have a chance to win the 49ers game, but I just don't see the division is too tough. And Eberflus, his track record against the NFC North is why I don't have any optimism. He's won 2 games against divisional opponents in 3+ seasons. So I don't, I think that he'll still they find ways to lose. Shawn, I hate it, but the damn team finds ways to lose unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. And it's almost sickening to watch at times because you're just like, how?
If there's 1 second left on the clock, man, you're just like, oh my God. I know they're on their own 1-yard line, they're backs to the end zone, but they're gonna score on our Bears somehow. Pass interference, Hail Mary, touchdown. It's something. It's something like that. How soon do you think that the seat gets warm for Ryan Poles? Because a lot of this is him. All right, you don't give us backup offensive lineman. You draft Rome Odunze with the number 9 pick, and I like Rome Odunze. Him and Caleb are starting to gain the chemistry, but you need offensive linemen. All right, look what the Lions did. Okay, let's go back to the Cowboys in the 90s. What did they do? They built from the trenches out, and you had chances to grab, one of the centers, Pritchard or Cedric Van Pran. You had a whole bunch of centers. You could have drafted rookie centers. You could have drafted Joe Alt. You could have drafted all these guys to solidify your line, and you stick with a 6th-round kid from Southern Utah to protect your franchise quarterback. How soon before his seat gets hot, and Kevin Warren says, "Hey, homie, we got to have a talk."
I think he's safe this year, but I think if the Bears don't start out next year like we all thought they were going to this year, I think next year's playoff or bust for Poles. I do. I think if they don't get into the postseason, his little promise about taking the North and never giving it back is not. It's not going to hold anyone. Yeah, it has not aged well. I think I was a little too easy on Ryan Poles and not as critical of him as I should have been for that reason of like it starts and ends in the trenches. It always has. And his failure to address the offensive line is the team's biggest weakness. It is the most glaring concern. and it's messed with Caleb's development. So he should be on the hot seat now, depending on how the rest of the season goes. But I think he's earned, in McCaskey's eyes, the right to stay based on how he's handled his trades, and he's done some good things. And I think that they gave Pace another chance to pick another coach. I think they'll give Poles another chance as well. But I think Poles' hot seat is going to get a lot hotter next year when Caleb's in year 2. If he does not address the O-line in a big way in both the draft and free agency, I don't know what he's not going to get away with anything at press conferences. He's going to be skewered alive, because that is just something, like, as a former offensive lineman, it's just something that he should be prioritizing, and he just isn't, and it's infuriating.
Are you annoyed or not bothered at all by him not coming to speak up, not speaking after that whole debacle with Shane Waldron?
I'm not annoyed, only because he's done it a lot in the past. He's come out and he's shown a willingness to speak to the media in ways that his predecessor hasn't. However, it did ping on my radar a bit. Like, it did annoy me, but it was kind of like, okay, I'm going to put that on my file, because that's new. Like, why are you not coming out now to talk about it? This is a huge move. And he's come out in the past, like when Roquan got traded. I don't think he did it when Robert Quinn got traded. Maybe he did. But just other kind of like big moments for the franchise. He's been willing to speak, and he has spoken. And, that just...
He came out and spoke out when Roquan just said he wanted to be traded.
Yeah.
That was even before. Like, he jumped. Remember, it was family day. It was family day in the preseason at Soldier Field, and he called an impromptu press conference, and was like, "Whoa, what?" Yeah. But then your offensive coordinator, who doesn't correct mistakes, doesn't have a first 15. You don't come and talk to the media after that.
Yeah. I think if he hadn't shown a tendency to be open to doing that in the past, I would be a lot more annoyed. But it is something that stuck out. It didn't bother me as much, but it's kind of like noteworthy. I think he probably should have said something. It wouldn't have taken much to, just thank Shane and say, adios, Mr. Thank you for your services.
Mr. No scripted first 15.
Why? How is he the only guy they brought back for a second interview out of 9 candidates? That's why I don't want Flus back, because he just doesn't seem to understand. He said Waldron had chemistry. He's very charismatic. Okay.
And you see that, and it's like, wait a minute, what's charismatic? Define charismatic then, coach, because what he showed us, and I get it, what you show the media is not exactly what you show, but damn, it's tough. Like, you can tell when guys like Justin was like real dry with the media, but he's got a personality. When he's with his boys, and Jalen Johnson, the same thing. Jalen's kind of dry and direct, but when you're with your boys, they got personality.
Yep.
He seemed like a wet dish rag. Like, man. My goodness. So it was, his ability to scout coaching and assess coaching is very, very low tier, with all the changes that have happened.
Yeah.
And that's tough when you have that again. And if he stays another year, I just hope. Talk to me real quick about the stadium situation. They're still trying to stay on the lakefront. You see anything happening. Now they're moving it a little further south to Michael Reese by the hospital, where they were going to have the Olympic Village over there. Is this just a Kevin? I just forgot his last name.
Kevin Warren.
Warren.
Yeah.
Is it him, or is it just his personal vendetta to stay on the lakefront regardless? Or is he still just trying to? Do you think he's still just trying to jockey for position to get those taxes lower, so then they'll finally end up moving to Arlington? He seemed adamant about it. About we're staying on the lake, damn it.
Yeah. I think he's just trying to play politics. But man, what has that guy done since he's arrived, other than delay the inevitable with the stadium? I mean, other than muddy the waters there. He's been, to me, one of the most confusing hires of the last 10 years, because since he arrived, he has not done a thing other than delay huge projects. And from what I understand, from what I've read, from what I hear there, like at Hallis, he doesn't have much say in what Poles, like he's not going to fire Ryan Poles without George's help. Like George is pretty much going to tell Kevin if it's okay to do it. And that's what the Bears like. That's why Harbaugh didn't come in. That's what, so I just, that's why they don't want somebody, they don't want swearing on Hard Knocks, for God's sake, Shawn. So how are they going to get a coach like Mike Vrabel to come in there? Like it's just, I want them to have good things, but they don't seem to want to have good things for themselves. And Kevin Warren, I mean, they could have had the stadium half built already in Arlington, and he just wants to play games and try to see if maybe we can keep it in Chicago, because I'd like to be the guy that would do that. It's done nobody any favors other than give us headaches and make covering the team a little bit more difficult. Kevin Warren.
So I was coming out of the press box where they have me seated. It's easier to come out of the press box, go into the hallway, and come in the other entrance to get food. And they have me away from the food. So I'm able to see. So I look out over the lake, when I'm walking in the hallway, and I'm thinking, what if they? And I know this is probably stupid, of course, but like, why would you have Meigs Field, like the area of Meigs Field is, like all that over there, like the parking would be a son of a gun, but there's certain things up there, like. I don't know. I personally still want it on the lake because of, and not the bear weather, because it's all right. But I just think that would be the coolest thing, the coolest lakefront in the country, where you overlook the best skyline in the country, concerts. Just think of the Bears games, the Big Ten championship game, concerts, college football. You know what I mean? All these things you can have there, and you're looking out onto our city. To me, is where I want it. But I realize the best place for it is probably Arlington Heights, much to my dismay.
Yeah, I think a lot of Bears fans feel the same way that you do. It's there's no other city in the world like it. I say that being a native Wisconsinite. I love Chicago. But, I'd still go to Arlington Heights to watch the Bears. We'll still go where the Bears play.
Yeah, I'll go under protest.
Indeed.
My trip to Arlington Heights would be under protest, damn it. Under protest. I don't like this shit, but I'm going anyway, damn it.
Give
me a $15 beer.
That would be me if Eberflus is the coach next year attending games. I'll go. Yeah. It's a protest visit.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, Beth, great stuff. I appreciate it. Do me a favor, though. Let everyone know they can find you and your work online.
Yeah, so you can find my stuff at heavy.com, Heavy on Bears on Facebook, or 247 Sports, BearReport.com.
Great stuff. It was awesome having you on. And let's not make it so long next time.
Hey, absolutely. Go Bears this weekend. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they went out. Fingers crossed.
Yes. I'm going to be at that Frisco game too, so that'll be
all right.
It's going to be cool. Hopefully they can win. I can't wait to check out Levi Stadium. That should be pretty dope.
See if you can get a bug in Shanahan's ear while you're there. Like, Chicago. Come
leave San Fran. Well, let me ask last thing. Speaking of Caleb, where do you think he can go this year now? This last question, because there's everyone, when we first started, he's a bust, he's this, he's that. He's still missing some easy throws.
Yes.
Right. And as much as we say the play calling's bad, I get it. The play calling was bad. But when you got a guy who's wide open, you can't miss those. Like that's not on the play caller.
Yep.
How far do you, or how jacked up was he mentally with Waldron? How good do you think he can be this year? Can he turn it around and just literally turn and have a lights out last 7 games of the season and look like the franchise quarterback that everyone was preaching all off season?
I think he can. I think the O-line is still going to be a little bit of a factor in that. And by a little bit, I mean quite a big factor, because it's banged up, and they're still beat. They played really well against the Packers. If they can play that well the remainder of the season, yeah, I think Caleb can have multiple 300-yard games, throw for 3-4 TD passes again, if he's got good blocking. And since he's getting the ball out quick, he's getting in a rhythm. He seems to be functioning a lot, but like I said earlier, not thinking as much, playing a lot more smooth, playing a lot more confident. He looked like he had control of the offense. And considering how he'd been playing the previous 3 games, that was nice to see. And I think he can turn it around. I think he can. I think he's got the talent. I think he's got the confidence. He's got the right attitude. He falls on his sword when he needs to. And I think Thomas Brown's going to be good for him. I really do.
I think the most importantly, he's got the right coach now. And
Yep.
we talked about
100%.
him getting out, watching his drop. It's one. I'm telling you, it's so rhythmic. 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, bounce, throw. When you do that, it kills the defensive line. It kills them because you're literally taking 2 or 3 steps and the ball's out. And I mean, that's a big explosion. Then you got to do it again. Big burst of energy, then do it again. And I think Thomas Brown realized it because what I said last week before Thomas called his first game. I'm like, we've all been in situations where we're second in command, right? At some particular point, and we know exactly what the hell number one should have done. That was wrong. What things that they did do that was right. Everything is crystal clear when you're number 2, crystal clear. But when you're in that seat and that interrogation light's on and you're making the calls, it's a little different. And as I said, I hope that he's seen. Well, not hope. I hope that he takes what he's seen that was broken or that needed work and works on it. And that's what he did. He getting them out in rhythm, on time, as they like to say. Even those stupid ass screens worked. What the hell is that about? Those stupid ass screens. DJ's getting 6-8 yards a pop. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, DJ Moore had 16 yards on a screen pass. I mean, that hasn't happened all year. So that was very nice to see. Yeah, I think too, his passion. Like, I don't know if you saw him in the booth fired up after that first touchdown they scored, but that was great to see. You didn't see that kind of passion or energy from Waldron ever. And I think the players feed off that. And I think guys like that, it's like Lovie Smith. I think you want to play harder for a guy like that. I really do.
And he seems his command of the room. You could tell he commands the room. But when he came up, he won his first 2 press conferences. He won those jokers. Yep. You saw, oh wow, okay. I can see why guys like him. I can see why guys would play for him. And they talk, and everything was damning for Waldron. When Keenan Allen said it so succinctly, he's too nice of a guy. Too nice of a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that you can't have that. And hopefully Thomas Brown, gets to stay here, because I really hate for Caleb to do well and then Brown's gone. And it's like,
you don't want to
have we seen this before once or twice?
I don't know what you're talking about, Shawn.
That's the Chicago. Hey, you remember in the Untouchables? That's the Chicago way.
Oh wow, that's an oldie. Yeah. Elliot Ness.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, awesome, Beth. We'll be in touch soon, and bear down. We need one this week. We got to get off the schneid.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you. Sounds good.
All right, talk soon. Thank you. Guys, that's Beth Mishler-Elmore from Heavy.com and BearReport.com talking Bears with your boy. And man, there's so many things. Where do we go? Like what storyline do you want? And it's frustrating getting to these, and they're the same freaking ones. Offensive line. All right. The great part about last week was that the quarterback played well. Quarterback was in sync with the offensive coordinator. Offensive coordinator put the quarterback in position to be successful. He went down, got a game-winning drive, led him to a game-winning field goal, only to be blocked. So we've talked about it a lot. Caleb this is not something new to Caleb. All right. He had this drive. He had the Commanders drive. He also had a couple other games this year where he went down right before the half, kick a field goal. Those are things you want. Those are things you build on. And it's one thing when you go down for halftime, and that's great because you're in a 2-minute. All right. But it's not the end. Believe me, everything's different. It's in context when things are different. Like, if you're having a test, but finals are like 2 weeks after, it's easy to say, okay, if I don't do well on this test, I can still do well on the finals. All right, and still bring up my grade. Fourth quarter is fourth quarter. All right, going into half, you always want to go in playing well or on a high note. You want to go into halftime on a high note. But the pressure is a little different at going into the half as opposed to the end of the game. And he's shown in both scenarios that he's able to flourish. He's shown in both cases he's able to handle the pressure. The pressure's nothing for him. He doesn't see, and when it seems like he's at his best is when they're getting quick throws, is when they're getting the ball out on time. what did I say? Get the ball out of his hands. Get the ball to your playmakers. Let your playmakers do it. Get him in 1, 2, 3 throw. 1, 2, 3 bounce throw. Those are the type of throws you got to have. If it's back shoulder, fine. If it's in cuts, fine. But they need Thomas Brown. I miss Thomas Jones. Coach Brown, as long as he continues to do this and allow Caleb to kind of be free. Now I want to see him hit a little bit deeper passes, like I was asking with Waldron. All right, I want to see slants, but I also want to see curls, but I also want to see deep ends. I also want to see comebacks. I want to see those types of things. All right, give me some crossers. Give me some crossers. One of the things that Caleb did well, all right, and the pass to Keenan after the 3rd and 19 and the 2 passes to Rome. He calls, and I think I showed you, he called an audible, called for 7-man protection. And to me, that was awesome. He called for a 7-man protection. Cole Kmet stayed in. Running back stayed in. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Threw it. First down. So that was extremely, extremely high-level football for a rookie. And I loved it. All right. Continue to keep those the routes, the route trees, or the route concept and his drop in sync. And man, this kid can do it. This kid can do it. I think he's realized that he's not the best athlete on the field anymore. There's a lot of other good athletes, and they're a lot bigger and stronger than him too. All right, you might see 1 or 2 per team, but you're not going to see a slew of an entire defensive line who can keep up with you, and it's very difficult to shake out of their socks. All right, I think he's seen that. I think Coach Brown kind of protected from himself. Like, don't have him run back there, right? When you keep those routes in sync with his drop, get the ball out of his hands. And he seems, and I understand, he seems like he's a risk taker. Let him take risks. All right, let him take risks. It's easier to dial someone back than it is to try and amp them up. All right. That's why I wanted, what did I tell the guy Chris next to me? I was like, dude, why don't we go deep once a quarter? Once a quarter. You got Rome, you got DJ. Tyler Scott, I don't think he was inactive, so he was on the roster. Send him Mother Hubbard deep. Send him deep. Put him in a slot, corner route. Go to the sideline. If he doesn't get it, throw it out of bounds. That's simple. But let them know. Throw the God-blessed ball deep. Why are we doing that? 2nd and 1. Corner. There you go. Done. Done and done. Justin had game-winning drives against Washington, Green Bay, destroyed by Eberflus 2. Things that make you go, Oh, believe me, I know. You know that's my guy. And don't forget about the Smear Myth Marset one, where he throws the ball to the former Viking, and instead of stepping out of bounds, he tries to get more yards and fumbles. Remember that one? In the Washington one, where Darnell Mooney caught the ball, or double caught the ball. He was in the end zone, but caught the ball when he came out of the end zone. Is everyone's keyboard broken but mine today? Yeah, I know, Shorty. You're in it, boy. You're in it. You're in it. I want to fight Marset for that. Yeah, me too. I remember that, the Vikings game. Like, come on, dude. What the hell? And Equanimity St. Brown on 4th down against Miami. He did everything right. Pass the sticks. All right, you run your route, pass the sticks. So when you catch it, it's forward progress, automatic first down. You don't have to run to get the ball, get the first down. You have to run to reach the line to gain. Goes right through his hands. What the hell's going on? You're killing me. killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. And this is why, again, this is why I said take the haul. Because I don't know how, and maybe Justin would have had the same issues with Shane Waldron too. Who knows? But you could have drafted offensive linemen. Okay, you could have and should have. And Poles doesn't get a pass from me and shouldn't get a pass from you. You're a former offensive lineman. The Bears drafted you. Damn it. There's video, as Coach Eberflus says, there's video evidence of you in a Bears uniform at practice. All right, on the practice field. How do you not address that? How do you not go overboard? Like, I would rather you go overboard drafting too many offensive linemen than not drafting enough. I'd rather you go overboard and draft too many offensive linemen in the first and second round than not enough. Because there shouldn't be anyone on this offensive line who's drafted past the second round. Nobody. None of them offensive linemen should be lower than a second round pick. This is why I asked, was the seat hot? Everybody said, let Paul cook, and he even had me. He even had me fleeced for a while. But man, you take the whole, think of the picks you had that you would have had then, last year, this year, next year. There's your fix. You could have drafted offensive and defensive linemen. We had enough skilled people. And I had, this was, I think it was the, who was it? The Commanders or the Panthers? They're the ones who had the issue. And that was a problem. That was a problem. September 29th. Oh, we got to go to April. About the draft. It said that they're going to have them. Was it Schefter? Oh goodness, where? I'm not sure if it's Schefter. And I was looking at it yesterday and like, oh, remember where? Darn it. You know, I want to find it now, so I can't. I should have uploaded it last night when I was thinking about this. But they were saying that the Bears were ready to go 1-2 to Washington, and then 2-7 or 9 or something like that. That was, yeah. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. All right. I guess you know what? I'll find it as soon as we're done with the show. As soon as we're done with the show, I'll find it. That's for sure. But they're ready. And I said, I think it was Carolina who didn't. And I would just love. And they're not sexy. All right? They're not sexy picks. I get it. All right? We understand. Offensive tackle, offensive guard, center. We get the fact that they're not sexy picks. We get the fact that they're not huge names just about all the time. But the fact is, they're necessary. That's what wins championships. They're necessary. And for him to avoid that is frustrating as all get out. Frustrating as all get out. And I don't know if we can forgive him. I don't know if we can forgive him because what they're doing, what they did to Justin, all right, what they're doing to Caleb, all right, it doesn't have to be this difficult. It doesn't. But you're making it this difficult because of your poor decisions. So I said, why isn't his seat hot? Why? Why isn't it hot? Why isn't he getting more flack for this shit? He should be getting grilled, dragged over the coals all right, because of his refusal to address the offensive line. Former offensive lineman refuses to address the offensive line. Make that make sense to me. Make that make sense to me. Because you know what I feel? Here's one of the things that I feel. No, it doesn't make it a rat's ass how I feel. What my opinion, but here's what I think. There's going to be a chance that Justin Fields goes to the Jets. Because Shorty, yeah. Love Rome, but he's not worth 3 offensive quality young linemen. Yeah. Yeah, and he did address it. He just did address it. He addressed it incompetently. All right. And here's what I'm thank you. Here's what I'm saying. All right. The Jets just fire the general manager. They fire the head coach. They just fire the general manager 6 weeks later. All right. The owner suggested benching Aaron Rodgers because he's playing horrible. The owner doesn't want to bring Aaron Rodgers back. All his guaranteed money is paid out. They may move on from Aaron Rodgers. You got a stud defense over there still in New York. You have stud, young, talented receivers in New York. You still got Devontae Adams over there. Okay. That might be a great landing spot for Justin Fields. Watch him go there and shine. He's got an offensive line. You have to protect your quarterback, period. A lot of these quarterbacks, they don't forget how to play quarterback. You just don't give them protection. And that would be something. That would be something. But, our Bears, I don't feel bad for Eberflus because you brought this on yourself. Okay? You allowed Shane Waldron to be soft. You allowed him to run practices the way he did. You allowed him to not go over and fix mistakes in practice. You allowed him to not call people out. You allowed this because you talked about being with the offense a lot. You felt very comfortable with Eric Washington handling the defense because he's been a defensive coordinator. So you felt comfortable, and you saw this, and you didn't let it happen, or you didn't change it. And you know what they say in the coaching world: it's either coached or allowed, and you allowed it. So I hear you. I liked Eberflus for a while, and then he started making some poor decisions, and then more poor decisions, and more poor decisions. Yes, I was one who said let him grow. He's got to. I get it, but at some point you got to cut bait. At some point there's got to be a line you just can't. You have to draw in the sand. Say no mas. Roberto Duran, no mas. All right, and I think the fact that his team gave up on him. All right, they're leaking stuff to the media. There was nothing leaked in the media when they're losing 14 in a row. Remember that? Nothing leaked to the media. This is a different year. This is his second season with a 4-game losing streak. Second. Remember, they started off, they lost the first 4 games last year. Remember? Now they lost 4 more this year. Can Thomas Brown have another good game? See, everyone talks about you got the same playbook. What's going to happen? Well, I'll tell you what happened. It's not the plays. One is the players. Sometimes it's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmy and the Joes. It's who you got out there. But also how you call them. The order in which they're called. It seems like Thomas Brown has a good feel for the game in the press box. He loves it up there. And I love him up there. Because you get to see exactly what's going on, a much better view. I like that a lot. And I don't want to be out. Here's the one thing. I want to be optimistic, but I know who we're facing, what defensive coordinator we're facing this year, and that's Brian Flores. I was like, I know his name, I just can't remember it. That's Brian Flores. He's coming with some heat. He's coming with some crazy heat that Caleb hasn't even seen yet. So it's imperative that Thomas Brown gets the ball out of his hands quick. Quick. Here's what I want my slants this week. I need screens. He's going to bring pressure. Imagine hitting DeAndre Swift with a screen on a blitz. It's going to be a chess match. It's going to be a chess match between Brian Flores and Thomas Brown. Right? You went from one play caller and you had a good job attacking Green Bay's defense. Now you got another good defense. Really good defense that you have to game plan for. And they're back on the grass today. That probably should be. I think they're probably practicing right now. Right? They're probably practicing right now. So they're installing their game plan. They're going over it, getting ready to work. But this game Sunday is going to be fun. Can you get to Sam Darnold and make Sam Darnold do some Sam Darnold stuff? If you can, that's going to help keep us in this game. Because the offense is going to have its hands full with a Brian Flores-led defense. They're going to have their hands full. But also, maybe, I don't see you saying maybe, but like you have to look like maybe his breakdown is better. Maybe his Thomas Brown's assessment of breaking down a defense is better than Shane Waldron's. Maybe it is. I don't know. And now you have some Thomas Brown film on tape. You have it on tape. There's video evidence of it. I know it's one game, but you might be able to see some patterns. I mean, it's a very small sample size, obviously. So how is Brian Flores going to attack this? Or is he going to attack the way he's going to attack and make you adjust? See, that's a good defensive coordinator. We're going to do what we're going to do, and you have to adjust. And the great defensive coordinators they understand what you're probably going to do to adjust and have that ready to throw at you when you adjust. So Brian Flores, man, I'm not looking forward to having you come to Soldier Field, putting pressure on our quarterback. But it's going to be one hell of a game. One hell of a game. Hey, listen, 2 hours has come and gone. Wow, I want to thank my guest, Beth Mishler-Elmore. She covers the Bears for Heavy.com and BearReport.com. Finally glad to get her on. She gave us her thoughts on Eberflus. She thinks it's the best interest of both parties if he and the Bears part ways. I agree. But again, Thomas Brown has the ear of Caleb Williams now. Now you're going to give him another guy? If Flus stays, I see it. I wouldn't be happy about it, but I understand it. If Kyle Shanahan comes available, if Kyle Shanahan becomes available, there's talk about about him leading the 49ers. If Kyle Shanahan becomes available, you better say, hey, homie, here's a blank check. What you want? Because that will then you get Caleb under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan. That would be dope. But I digress. Listen, everyone have a phenomenal day. It's a little nippy here in Chicago. It's 45. It's 46 degrees right here I'm in Orland Park. High of 47 today. High of 40 tomorrow with a 75% chance of some snow. High of 40s. Yeah, it's 47 today, 40 tomorrow, 47 Friday, 47 Saturday, 49 Sunday. Might hit 50 Sunday. Still brisk. This is fall, baby. This is fall. My St. Rita Mustangs are playing the Mount Carmel. Our arch rival, Mount Carmel Caravan, this Saturday at Rita Stadium in the state semifinals. Whew. And in the WNBA, the Sky got the number 3 overall draft pick. So things are going good. Have a great weekend, folks. A lot of college football. Indiana at Ohio State. That's at 11 o'clock. And Columbus. It's 12 o'clock over there. That game is going to have tons of playoff implications. Big Ten playoff implications and college football playoff implications. Make sure you tune into that. That's going to be dope. All right. But I will see you on Friday. So, guys, hey, listen, do me a favor. Let your loved ones know you love them. Send them a voicemail, a voice memo, a text message, something. Ask them how they're doing. Get up for lunch, brunch. Doesn't matter. Meet up for the Bears game. Let your loved ones know you love them because I tell you all the time, tomorrow is promised to no one. So for everyone here at Sports Zone Chicago, Elliot Baez, our executive producer, Clarence Council, our social media guy, my co-host, Adam Sencha Maya. I'm your boy, the Superback, Shawn Sierra. Guys, have a phenomenal day. We're going to replay this tonight at 6 p.m. So you'll be able to catch that. Again, for those of you who missed it, I know Plank said he's going to catch it later because he's working, and that's cool, and I appreciate it. If you want to catch it again, 6 o'clock tonight. So your boy, the Superback. Folks, have a phenomenal day. I am out.